Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command World War II World at War with our Axis playthrough. In the last episode we did most of the rest of this turn. We just have some finalizing things to do, primarily as Japan. One thing I will end up doing is taking the 5th Corps here. We're going to go ahead and move that down next to Hong Kong in preparation for that. The supply is going to improve in this region temporarily, so it's fine enough. I mean, realistically, I could also just leave them on Canton and then move this away from here. But there's not going to be anything to defend here anyway. I'm also going to change up the spacing of this formation here. We're going to move the light cruiser here over hither. This heavy cruiser go over hither. And then we're going to take the Zuikaku and get that bitch right around here. There you go. No upgrades to it any further because I really think it is very likely that we might just go ahead and do Pearl Harbor next turn in September. It's going to be a little bit early, but it's doable. America's mobilization is going up pretty rapidly, and at this point, even if they get fully mobilized, it's not really going to be the worst thing. It just means that I can put other events into motion, but realistically I still don't know. We just need to go around getting everything into position for now, and then we'll go from there. So they can all kind of get around Batavia. Batavia is the most important thing over here. Nothing else is going to be more important than Batavia. So let's go down to the Java Sea with one of these special forces. There you go. That kind of movement seems to drain some supply, but that's fine if we're just going to be attacking next turn. Even if it's not next turn, it's still going to be fine. We'll put these two right next to each other in case both are needed for this task. I really don't know if both will be needed. Critical for my upcoming plan will be some guys over here. So long-range amphibious transport for the special forces at Roy Namur. Goes right where I wanted it, thankfully. Also, we don't have any more long-range amphibious transports. That is all of them. I can't actually... I should have been watching that number. I can't actually pay for any more. We have a limited amount, that's right. And we're not researched far enough to have any more. Okay, so that serves as a more concrete limiter to what I can actually do at one time. Well, that's fine, because this is about to control itself by itself. Well, I could always divert one of these eastwards to help this poor boy in its adventures. I have two more over here, and that should really be enough for the Philippines, assuming, well, maybe not if you include Naval. But, for example, this one can always get into a normal amphibious transport, which for this one has 6 action points. Can get decently far, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't connect navally to be attacked. You just have to land and hope for the best. Although, quite frankly, I still don't actually know if this is going to be needed. It's a national morale objective, sure, but the capital is really the biggest thing. So like mentioned, I'm going to get one of these special forces just moving east to help with this, and my strange plan to try to capture Hawaii, just poke further eastward and see if we can just stop their operations out here, because then they won't have supply out here or anything, really. They'll have it up by Alaska, but if we can completely knock out their supply in this region, that would make it very hard for them to maintain surface fleet activities out here. However, there's more than just Hawaii that can do that. There's also everything down here, but this is really the biggest one. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but I won't know until after. So we're going to go ahead and just go down into this port, just so we're in a nice little safe place. We'll get 2 long-range transports ready to just go at Manila. So right now that will just be here, and they don't need to like speed up or anything. And right here, right next to each other, because that's of course the most important thing. I think I will refrain from also landing at Naval. I remember there being something at Naval. I think it might have been planes or something. I just don't want to get a special forces stuck for no reason on nothing, like on literally nothing, if I can just kind of maneuver my way into it anyway. I do have room for research, so I'm going to skip past other unit things I could do this turn. I'm going to put some more research in. Notably, either long-range aircraft or advanced fighters would probably be the best. I'm going to go for advanced fighters to kind of try to stay ahead of America's tech, because they're primarily going to be the air stuff that Japan's going to be dealing with from here on out. So That brings us to 1,300 MPPs being spent on research. We're about to finish logistics research, so our research could use a lot more investment. Not sure if I can keep up with that, but I'm going to try to, at least a little bit. Over here with the German convoys, we know the Russians have been raiding up here, and it's just like, there's not a lot I really can do about that. I don't have a lot of things to deal with submarines. I don't want to risk all my capital ships going up there. But I can still check out this one. I haven't really patrolled down it in a while. Okay. Salmon sub. You're here. You're literally right outside this port. Okay then. Well. Let's attack it. I don't even remember what I was saying. Let's go ahead and attack it. Dives from the attack, saving itself from damage. I could still probably find it. Yeah, there it is. This is my last chance to really attack with the destroyer. Yeah, the destroyer can't do too much in comparison. Let's try with the bombers first. Okay, 1 damage dealt, only 1, unfortunate. We'll try with the destroyer now, my Z2, my final remaining destroyer. We dealt no damage, took no damage. This is going to raid us. I can try a fighter strafe as well. Sure, why not? It's so fucked up in every other way, might as well. Down to 7, so we took 2 damage off of it. We found it. It's still going to be... Actually, no. It's in silent mode now because it dived, so it won't raid us. It would have raided us otherwise. Well then, that's fun. Huh. I, still could build some, like, patrol boats to try to go deal with the submarine up here and then bring the other ships to assist. But with our goals, my attention and MPPs are focused elsewhere. For now, I think that's all we really have to do this turn, so let's go ahead and hit end turn. Move into September, US oil embargo hits Japanese morale. We are about to recover all of that morale and more once I declare war on America, potentially early. Columbia commissioned for Canada, I believe. Sweden, Germany convoys disrupted. Yeah, advanced fighters level 2 for Germany. Cool. Naval warfare development moving. Logistics done for Japan. Yeah, we saw that coming. God, we need that DEI stuff back. Those MPPs were delicious. Want them back. Let's see. Hopefully the Allies stay on the run. They've been not having a lot of wins. Okay, they bumped into our sub with a destroyer, died from the attack, so that won't be doing any raiding. Unfortunately. They're running away, the fighters and anti-air from that southern Ukrainian region, moving up new corps to take the place of the injured ones over here in China. At least one of them so far. Reinforcing... Ooh, that one's running away. Reinforcing some corps in Ethiopia. Lots of movements of Chinese troops. I think this one is reinforcing. Destroyer, yeah, running into me over here. It loses 1 health. I lose no health. Now we die from attack, yeah. But didn't take any damage, but won't be raiding. Just this constant war. Thank God they don't have ASW, or this would be way tougher. Another, oh, well, this time a destroyer, not a light cruiser, coming down to play. And we took half of its health. Now they're coming down with another destroyer. We took more than half of its health. I don't know why they're sending destroyers down here. This seems really dumb. They found my other submarine up raiding, so it won't be doing any raiding. No damage dealt to either side. Overall, they're countering a lot of our raiding, but they're taking some big damage due to running into my heavy cruisers for some dumb reason. Their armored trains suffering attrition losses. Good, because, yeah, it's surrounded. More embargo, Japanese morale, yada yada. Greek partisans disrupt supply. Oh. Oh. Am I supposed to have someone there? Are there's partisans there? That I didn't notice, probably? I guess I didn't pay enough attention to that. Oh well. USSR convoys disrupted. 28-22. Oh, hell yeah. Nice. So long as they get sunk somewhere, you know? Yep, there are partisans. There's a lot of partisans in Greece that I have paid no attention to. Holy fucking shit. What is my dumbass doing, bro? I never even looked at their map, I think. Yeah, dude, I never even looked at their map. Well, I can take the first garrison from Bulgaria, and we can go ahead and... Well, does it have to be a garrison? Can Bulgaria have more garrisons? Yeah, okay. So let's force march that over here. I can't operate through here because that has now crippled the rail line in the region. We weren't really able to afford to send much else into this region anyway, so it like wouldn't be too bad to move other things necessarily. Maybe I can get this down here. Yeah, the core, this Bulgarian core I haven't been using for reasons and probably won't start using anytime soon yet, compared to say using more of these Germans that are over here. You can go fill in some gaps for me. Yeah, because I might still end up moving this first corps. So Bulgarians, get down there. Ward those pesky partisans away. I can't believe I missed that. So looking at Germany's main front against the USSR, it's a little bad in Ukraine. The weather is pretty unfortunate, and once again I've upgraded someone's mobility and then run into weather that stops me from moving them to where I wanted to move them because the weather is in the way, because of course it is. I can still take the Africa Corps and push forward, try to recon what's here. Okay, there's a garrison there. Just a garrison, so that would theoretically not be too difficult to punch through. Supply in this region is also awful, just as the game promised it would be. I don't know why it's so awful, but it's awful. Maybe the game knew it was gonna rain. Take another step forward with these tanks. Look what we're dealing with. Oh, they've actually upgraded these fuckers. Isn't that funny? Well, I don't know what is even remotely realistic to go attacking them with. I guess I could just use this one. This was the Brest-Litovsk garrison. Well, it didn't make it there. If it was there, they gave it up real quick. Let's attack. 2 damage dealt, none taken, and they run off of the hex. Okay. I don't think much of anyone else I have can make it there other than these tanks, so I guess I might as well just go and claim Kursk. We're limited by supply right now anyway. Oh yeah, this is where the anti-air is running to as well. Let's try and finish them off. There you go. We finished them off, we've pushed forward, and acquired a new hub of supply. Doesn't give a lot of supply, but it's a new hub of supply. The 10th Army can only move so far right now. We're not going to force march. We're just going to move over to Konotop, where the supply is already bad anyway. It's at 4. It's going to improve to 5. Let's see what happens if I move the Von Lieb HQ forward a little bit more. Now it'll improve to 7, and it'll be up to at 4 at Kursk next turn. So that's pretty good. Still stretched, but, you know, it's better than nothing. This is as far as I can really get right now, unless I upgrade mobility or something. And then there's also the thing of, hey, I can replace some of these leaders with better ones. We'll figure that out at some point, not this point, however. Let's upgrade the Romanian tanks that they got with Advanced Tanks 2 instead of just 1. Only one of my armies can really make it up next to Kherson right now, just due to zones of control. Oh, they have some TAC bombers there, huh? You got some tacky TAC bombers, do ya? It's almost like getting around is actually the best strategy, not going directly through. I guess that probably makes a lot of sense. The movement here is just so limited due to the supply situations. I could move my HQ up this far, or even this far. I just have to get other dudes around to try to protect the HQ. We will upgrade the 1st Hungarian army. They could use it. The 2nd army will just move up to the mine for right now. It has enough supply. It's not going to improve, actually, but it has enough. Nobody can really get to, like, right here, except this one, but nobody else can get right here, so it's like, where is it really better to have someone? I guess it doesn't matter a whole lot, to be honest. It doesn't matter where this one ends up. It just... Okay, yeah, alright then, sure. Let's just move that there, then. And then this one can move kind of into a defensive posture right here. This one can move in front of there. The 2 Romanian armies that already upgraded, good to go. I believe for this HQ, I'm going to put some anti-air on it. 43 MPPs because it's facing down some TAC bombers, and I don't want it to be the easy target out. This one may end up being the easy target out, I don't know. But we're going to end up moving this HQ forward. It may be a dumb idea because, you know, someone could just come around here. But hopefully with zones of control, they can't. How does that affect supply next turn? Okay, vastly improved in this area. That's what I'm looking for. The core sitting on Kherson is not really very strong, so I can at least take these tactical bombers and try to do a little bit of readiness and morale damage for right now. They have interceptors, which I expected. We have escorts. Their interceptors are trash. Not too worried about them. These are literally just pea shooters. Whoa. Okay, game kind of froze there, but yeah, we did some pretty good readiness morale damage to the point where this blitz attack can actually see some pretty decent success, so why not take advantage of that? 2 damage dealt, there you go, that's something. This Hungarian army can move either here or here into the hills, not really sure which would be better. I guess on the road would be better because I wanted to be able to just move the Hungarians forward. Well, I guess the Romanians kind of pile up around here. The tanks will go forward though. But the Hungarian army can move forward. It's already upgraded fully and everything. I'm going to set these paratroopers into prepare mode. I'm going to move the von Kukler HQ forward to right about here to Uman, so we can get ready to go to Cherkasy, where it can provide some better supply in the region. Meanwhile, I will reinforce these tactical bombers, and I will upgrade the fighter that guards them to Advanced Fighters 2. Ooh, that looks different. Okay. We're getting some nice visual changes here. Any unit that needs upgrades or reinforcements is going to be kept in a place where it will have supply to do so next turn. Meanwhile, while we wait up here, like, we really need to wait for supply to catch up with the advance. That's my big problem here, especially with the weather, man. I'm going to move this corps north once. That'll put it in 6 supply next turn. 5th Corps will go right next to it, 6 supply next turn. Slovakian Corps next to it, 6 supply next turn. The 1st Corps just north of Konotop, and that will be 6 supply next turn. I'm going to move this corps across the river. That'll be 7 supply next turn. The 14th Army will move as far as it can get naturally without destroying its readiness and morale. It doesn't need supply, but I mean, it'll have it. This tactical bomber will take another step to the east, slightly northeast for the time being, just inching its way towards something. I don't know what. The 2nd Luftwaffe here will go a little bit to the east as well, northeast, just to kind of get out of the way of the bomber in case we want to keep advancing that bomber with the rest of the line. I'm going to take the 1st German Army. We're going to move that up across the river towards Smolensk. We also have the 3rd Army, which could use some reinforcements, but that's going to move up to Smolensk as well, kind of as a surrounding force to try to get a little bit more efficiency there. At the same time, the 8th Army is going to move forward into the marsh towards the 1st Guards Army. Damn, all these armies are really well upgraded, man. It's crazy. Let me see how I can affect supply around here next turn if I move Rommel forward. And then I move von Rundstedt forward as well. This is going to make it like impossible to sack and replace any generals at all, but let's see. So, okay, this is better. It was going to be 5 here, now it's 6. So this improves supply around here tremendously. The 4th Army will move forward as well across the river, defending Rommel's HQ from that direction. The 2nd Corps would probably be smart to go stick in this forest right next to Gomel. Supply in the region is going to be 5 next turn. Ideally would be better, but you know, we'll take what we can get. It's just a corps anyway. It's more there as a maneuvering force than any kind of offensive force. This offensive is not going to be an easy one this turn, let me tell you. The 4th Panzer tanks will move up into this forest next to Smolensk. I'm tempted to move these tanks up. They can't really do anything right now. And I don't know if they'll actually end up in any kind of good supply at all, even if I do successfully take Smolensk this turn, which I don't know if I will. I'm not sure what Moscow has sitting over here, but it seems like the bulk of their really dangerous forces are actually not here. So I could potentially take the risk. So let's assume that I can take the risk here. Okay, so only 1 bomber will actually be in range, by the way, because this one doesn't even have long-range aircraft, but we are going to go ahead and start with an army attack on Smolensk, because that is the one thing I have that can do immediate damage. It can also break down the enemy entrenchments, theoretically. So let's try it. Starting with the 1st Army, which has more luck, given its location. Okay, we did 2 damage and we took none, which is like so much better than I actually would have hoped for. Let's try with the 3rd Army now. 3 damage dealt, none taken. Wow! We were supposed to lose at least 2 damage there and deal, at best, 3. We dealt 5 and lost none, bro. Holy fuck. Okay. And now their entrenchments are down from 3 to 1. Readiness morale is lowered. And now is where I will risk a tick off the Africa tactical bombers, given the importance of this objective compared to the importance of the tanks, by the way, versus the tactical bombers themselves. So let's try that. Wow, this is where we got a bad roll. We dealt no damage. We were supposed to deal 1. We took 2 damage. We were supposed to take 1. But their readiness is completely just shot now, and it really reflects in the combat results. So let's try with the Panzer tanks. 2 damage dealt. We were supposed to deal 3. None taken. Weren't supposed to take any. Come on. And there you go. Smolensk is clear. Now I just need someone to actually step on Smolensk. That's the big thing. I just need someone to actually go over there, which is fine. I have enough cores spread around to make this work, actually. Factually, as it would turn out. So one thing I'm going to do, and I was thinking about this earlier, it's time to put it into effect. So the 30th Corps is not going to reinforce. We're going to move it forward just to take Smolensk. So let's do that. And voila, it's ours. Its supply is shot, but does this affect our supply in the region now that we own it? Not really. This tank will be out of supply anyway. Boo-hoo, sucks. But we did take Smolensk. That was really, really important to do. And look, Bryansk doesn't even have anybody at it. And that's a town leading right up to Moscow. We've broken through the most important point. Now, I want to continue to kind of pad out my advance a little bit. And I'm starting to get spread thin on this northern approach, but I'm going to do what I can. This tactical bomber needs to move away from this front because it's going to get a little more dangerous here in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 13th Corps, 13th, yeah, and we're going to move it up into the marsh here to take this town. Not necessarily for any important reason, but just to kind of spread our supply and stop them from moving in any of these directions. The paratroopers will move up to Vitebsk and then go into prepare mode to prepare to go jump and launch themselves somewhere. The Africa tactical bombers are just going to move just basically right along Orsha so that their range is good enough to like be near Gomel and just be more forward in general. The fighters, well, the fighters aren't going to be doing anything this turn. I don't know if I should actually bother trying to make any offensive against Gomel this turn. We won't be able to make a whole lot of progress pretty much no matter what. And honestly, we can start to encircle it, but yeah, the 1-to-1 right now is maybe just not worth it. And supply's cut off here, actually. Well, it kind of has its own supply, but it's cut off from anything right now that is not it. We do have more forces coming up from the south that will be able to kind of like encircle it as well. I think I'll use this opportunity to get upgrades in. So let's get long-range aircraft on the other tactical bombers. We want to get advanced fighters on both of the fighters since we have an opportunity to do that. So let's do it. There you go. Very good. Very nice. In my head, this paratrooper will eventually jump from Vitebsk somewhere over here, or over here. And then this corps, the Frontier Corps, will replace it. So for now, I'm just going to move it up here, kind of filling in this spot, getting ready to move in here. There's going to be a little bit of a gap, but I'm just kind of going to count on this idea that they won't exploit it. I might move this corps 1 away. I'm not fully sure on the details yet. That is basically the entire main front. Might get an upgrade on Von Bach. We'll see how the MPPs go. We're always limited with our MPPs. I'm going to swap the Isthmus Army in Finland over to Viipuri. Get the Helsinki Corps off to get a infantry weapons upgrade for themselves. We're not going to do a 1-to-1 attack right now. We're just going to sit down and then see how a prepared attack does for us next turn. The final front is the Yugoslavian front against the Soviets. This is a pretty simple affair. I'll take the army and we'll finish off, ideally, this armored train. There you go. It's dead. This army's going to need some time to recover. Definitely. A lot of these other guys are in need of some repairs and such as well. And some upgrades. A lot of them also don't have supply. So that's a limitation. I also don't know if there's anything actually waiting for me over here. But we are going to take this army, since it's already done an attack, it's going to step right here to claim this for us. Let's look at the partisans real quick. Okay, yeah, well the HQ is going to want to operate out of Grozny from this point on, just because supply efficiency, especially as the supply recovers. Even then, a lot of these spots are not going to be good for actual recovery. The 6th Yugoslavian Corps can reinforce, so I'm going to do that. The Belgrade Corps can upgrade, so I'm going to do that. almost nothing else has the capability to do any of that. So we're probably just going to do some other things. For example, getting into locations where we can do things. Let's look at next turn supply. 5 is enough to upgrade, not to reinforce. So you're actually good right there. You would need to move down here if I was going to reinforce you as well. Upgrades aside. Then there's just the army, who isn't really going anywhere, but they can reinforce next turn. The Bosanska Corps is going to go a little bit out on a limb here and push up to this junction, I think, to see what's at Astrakhan. So let's give that a look-see, shall we? We've pushed down the road and there's nothing there. It's completely barren of life, devoid, empty. Very easy to push through if we wanted to. Drovska. Where else is going to have 5 supply? Over here, for example? Yeah, okay. I'm going to move you over here, actually, Drovska Corps. Kind of somewhere where you're more ready to push west. We've succeeded in taking, essentially, the Caucasus. There is still a little bit more to go. One more oil position to give more MPPs. You know, 18, probably, roughly, is what the supply will go up to, I imagine. I'm not actually sure about that. I'm not sure if that supply came from the HQ or not. Maybe 15. Once we don't really have a presence in the region. I'm not sure. Otherwise, garrisons are going to be fine here for now. I'll put this one actually on Tbilisi proper, where the partisan unit actually is. Looking at more things German, we have these 2 heavy cruisers that are starting to become in need of supply, but they're just starting to wipe out ships. First a light cruiser, and now a destroyer, the Mohawk destroyer, and then the Jersey destroyer. Yep. So, without taking any damage at all, these 2 heavy cruisers have wiped out these destroyers, and it's hilarious. We do need to kind of get over to port, though, because our supply is starting to falter. So we're going to go ahead and redo our supply in a nice, safe location over here. That's pretty good results. That's much less destroyers to harass our submarines than were here before. Next, if we look by Denmark, this salmon sub is still here. So let's try to do something about that again. Starting with these medium bombers. And they die from attack, naturally. Can only really go one direction, though, so here they are. Let's try again with these other medium bombers. It's always the one that doesn't have the experience that manages to land a hit. Let's try with the Z2 destroyer again. 2 damage instead of 1. Okay, that worked out pretty well. Now with the fighters again, I suppose. 2 damage. Okay, we're dealing good damage. But, you know, of course, I just don't have the ability to kill this thing. Because of course I don't. I don't think anything else would really have a good shot against it. Sub attack value 0 on anything that's not a destroyer. I don't have the boats to deal with this. That's why I have these bombers over here. It'll have to run away at least. Its readiness and morale shot, it has 1 strength. I don't even know why it stayed over here. It's kind of weird that it did that. Our 2 subs over here were annoyed. Probably because I left them in the same spot. Which I know not to do, but I did it anyway. Oh, well, there's that one. My bad. Let's try and just go around like that. There you go. And then leave you right there so that we can try to get some raiding in. Because these are very important lines that need to be raided. And there's you as well. Who I guess, I don't know where to really send you. I guess over here would work fine. And then you'll definitely raid the USA UK one. That's the most important one. This is why I'm so split of whether or not I want to get America involved in the war this turn or not. When their mobilization is still not quite at as dangerous of a point. We have a lot of other subs that we can put into hunt mode as well, because they are repaired and they can go fuck with the Brits. The U-32 specifically can get advanced sub upgrades, so we will do that. We want to get some more submarines out, ideally raiding this. We're gonna have to get a little dangerously close to, here, let me move it to that side. To here, I guess I'll take the U-37 and move that over there as well. We can't go over here or past this point because there was literally a destroyer there that we're probably gonna run into anyway, but actually, yeah, we are. So let's go ahead and just like move right up here and hopefully it just goes this way or this way and not up here. It's kind of what I'm hoping right now. And that's most of Germany's turn. Now, there's points to spend, but I'll figure that and more out later. For now, that's going to be it for this one. It is now September 26, 1941. Let me know what you guys think about how the playthrough is developing. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.